Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Carl The WordSmith. Today, we turn our attention for the very first time to Fear by NF. Now, again, this is a first-time reaction from me. This song was highly recommended to me by some viewers in the comment section, so I'm keen to dive in, as I have heard some tremendous things about the song in terms of the musical landscape and the lyrical depth. So, for those of you who are new, here on this channel, I do more than simply listen. We pause, we reflect, and we unpick the lyrical and emotional threads that bind music to meaning. So, if you enjoy thoughtful reactions, in-depth lyrical exploration, and a space where music is treated with the reverence it deserves, you are most welcome here. And should you find value in this journey, I invite you most warmly to like, comment, share, and please do subscribe as we are on the hunt to 100,000 subscribers. Your support allows this small corner of YouTube to continue growing, one considered conversation at a time. And should you wish to support this channel further in a more direct way, you'll find links below for my Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, Super Thanks, and you can even become a channel member. Each one a gentle but powerful way to keep this work alive and flourishing. Now then, without further ado, let's dive straight into it, shall we? Okay, Fear by NF, NF Real Music. Haven't heard of this guy, don't know much about him. I've been told that the song is, well, someone did tell me that it'll be one of the best songs I've ever listened to. High praise, let's see if it's true.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
Oh, well that's a good start. Whisper.
Knocking at my door again.
Oh. Sound effects.
Begging me to come outside.
Oh.
Let you back into my life.
Very transparent lyricism.
Now, usually I'd be strong enough.
Bit of whisper on the onset.
To lock the doors and keep them shut.
Oh, deeply psychological.
But not today, I'm desperate.
Oh man.
So go ahead and come on in.
Jeez.
So go ahead and come on in.
Like an internal monologue.
So go ahead and come on in.
Ah, okay. Wow. That is very interesting. Not what I expected. But damn, okay, let's take a look. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, as we step together into the first encounter with Fear by NF, I'm finding myself anchored in the luminous yet deceptive gentle key of G major, and it's a tonal choice that cloaks emotional turbulence in a veneer of calm, much like a steady voice concealing a trembling hand. And it's all very, very interesting. And the song opens with the quiet seismic line, "Hello, darkness, my old friend," and we remember that line, don't we? It's a deliberate and reverent nod to Simon and Garfunkel, yet here the phrase is repurposed not as nostalgia but as psychological confession. Fear here is no longer an abstract shadow but a familiar visitor rapping patiently at the door of the mind. And what unfolds is a moment of profound vulnerability where fear does not barge in, it begs, persuades, waits for weakness. And NF's lyricism displays a sophisticated understanding of the psyche, capturing that perilous instant when resilience falters, not through grand collapse, but through just sheer exhaustion. And the lyrics here, "Usually I'd be strong enough to lock the doors," he admits. And that's revealing strength as a practiced ritual rather than an immutable trait, and desperation as the quiet erosion of defenses rather than their dramatic destruction. And then the repeated invitation, so go ahead and come on in. For me, that functions almost liturgically, mirroring the cycling nature of intrusive thought, where resistance wanes through repetition and familiarity breeds surrender. And vocally and lyrically, it seems like NF embodies fear not as an external monster, but as an old companion, known, named, and tragically welcomed, offering us as the listeners not spectacle, but recognition. The lyrics have drawn me in. They are profoundly psychological, very, very transparent, profound. But now we're going to get into the music, so let's see how this goes.
So go ahead and come on in.
Fatalistic defeatism, kind of.
OCD is worse than ever, hands are bleeding. Maybe I should take the pill stone.
Great rhythmic cadence.
With me some days I actually think I might be schizo. Frantic, probably not, but even writing this is making me begin to spiral. Oh God.
Oh, okay.
Made a promise to myself I wouldn't let the fear back in, but then I did though.
Wow, the production.
I was sick of running, then went back to running. What a joke. Disappointing, yeah, me too. I thought I finally made a breakthrough. Guess not.
Oh, the lyrics. My giddy aunt. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to be pausing a lot. There's a lot of lyrics to cover within a very short space of time. So I apologize in advance, but let's dive into it. Okay, my beloved viewers, it is immediately evident that NF, though firmly rooted in the world of rap, he possesses a remarkably refined rhythmic sensibility. His delivery flowing with a beautifully controlled cadence over a steadfast 4-on-4 pulse, and that's the timing signature. It's a metrical constancy that allows the lyrical intensity to surge without ever losing its footing. So 4-on-4, really interesting. And I must offer my gentle apologies in advance should I pause more frequently than usual. It's just the velocity and density of his articulation demands space for proper contemplation. And this is language moving at the speed of thought, to my mind. And what strikes so profoundly at this juncture, astonishingly, before we have even reached the song's midpoint, is just the sheer raw psychological candor of the lyricism. And these lyrics resonate with a visceral familiarity, articulating inner battles that countless listeners will recognize but may never have dared to name. And I love how this man demonstrates an astute, almost clinical awareness of the mind under siege. Like an obsessive loop, spiraling cognition, broken promises to oneself, and the crushing weight of perceived regression. Yet what elevates this beyond confession is its poetic precision. He exposes the tragic irony of self-awareness without self-mastery, of declaring victory over fear only to find oneself fleeing once more. And I have great respect for someone who can write with that type of honesty. It's also the repeated admissions of disappointment and not theatrics. They are mirrors held unflinchingly before the self and by extension before us as well. And in this relentless forward motion, rhythm unwavering, thoughts unraveling, NF captures the exhausting paradox of mental struggle. And it's beautifully articulated because it's knowing the path out, naming the enemy, and still feeling one's feet turn instinctively back toward the darkness. And it's so brilliant that someone can name that so adequately and so profoundly. Okay, I'm deep into the song and I'm loving it. Let's keep it going.
We have finally made a breakthrough, guess not. It's the same song and dance you have seen.
Interesting.
Darkness holds out its hand,
Okay.
then we walk to the floor.
Sheesh, there's a lot to... He's being restrained. Each extremity.
What's the truth? What's a lie? Help me God.
Oh,
Help me,
interesting
Lord.
question.
Face your fears, dry your eyes,
Existential.
clam and die. What's the point? Lost the keys, lost my hope, lost my will, lost my joy, lost a friend, lost my hope,
Man.
lost my faith, lost my voice.
I mean, everything thus far is next level. The production, he's got a stunning vocal timbre, by the way. I haven't heard him ever sing or rap before, but it's gentle in a way. Yet he does sort of solemnly attack the onsets with great effectiveness, but also emotional poignancy, which I deeply appreciate. But anyway, let's take a look at everything a bit deeper. Man, wow. He just reaches into the very marrow of psychological experience and draws forth a portrait of despair that is neither sensationalized nor abstract, but chillingly recognizable. And look at this. It's the same song and dance. So that speaks to the tyranny of recurrence, the soul's weary awareness that this descent has been rehearsed before, that darkness does not ambush but beckons, hand outstretched, inviting a familiar collapse that we know all too well. And what follows is a devastating articulation of diminished agency, where fear assumes authorship over thought and action, reducing the self to a marionette whose strings are pulled by panic, grief, and intrusive cognition. And the question that he poses, what's the truth, what's a lie? And that marks the fracturing of epistemic trust. The mind no longer knows which thoughts are signals and which are saboteurs, while the plea to God is not doctrinal, but it's just existential, a final reaching upward when internal scaffolding has completely failed. The sudden intrusion of personal loss, where he mentions grandma died, that is especially harrowing, not for its drama, but for its bluntness. Grief here is not possessed, only added to the accumulating ledger of losses. And then comes the litany: keys, hope, will, joy, friend, home, what else? Faith, voice, each lost, tolling like a bell, charting the progressive erosion of identity itself. And this is not merely sadness, it is psychological depletion, the slow unraveling of meaning, belonging, and selfhood. And what he does here is he gives voice to the unspeakable truth that mental suffering is rarely one catastrophe, but 1,000 small disappearances at a time, until even one's own voice feels like something misplaced. And it's not just misplaced either, it's irretrievable and mourned. Okay, I'm loving the graphical illustration that's serving the lyrics. It's not overshadowing them, it's accompanying them, and it's complementing them in a really, really unique way. Okay, let's keep it going.
Boy, lost a friend, lost my home, lost my faith, lost my boys.
And then that great transition, well done production. Friggin' hell. Okay. Shit. Oh. Okay, that got me a bit. Piano's almost metronomic. It's in 4. Sheesh.
Hold the gas, asking God
Interesting.
if he started this fire.
Very existential questions.
Is this what you want?
Yeah.
Is this what you want?
I get it though. I totally understand.
Make all my hopes and my dreams come to life just to lay them to rest.
Oh.
Is this what you want?
Okay.
Is this what you want?
That line hit home.
Give me a false sense of peace just to show me what peace really is.
Flippin' hell. NF. Wow. Okay. It's one of those songs. Yeah, look, these lines, he conjures one of the most arresting metaphors in modern confessional songwriting that I've heard. The image of a man standing motionless as his own mansion. And a mansion is a symbol of success, stability, and hard-won achievement, and now that just collapses into ash. And psychologically, this is not mere destruction, but also moral disorientation. He holds the gas can himself, implicating his own actions, yet looks heavenward, asking whether the spark was divinely struck or tragically self-inflicted. And this tension captures the torment of agency under suffering. When life implodes, the mind oscillates between self-blame and spiritual bewilderment. And I think most of us, or some of us, have definitely been there. And the repeated question that he has, is this what you wanted? It's not accusatory so much as it is existential. It is the cry of someone who has followed the path, achieved the dream, and discovered that fulfillment does not inoculate against despair. Particularly poignant is the notion of hope being briefly realized only to be ceremonially buried, suggesting a psyche crushed not by failure but by the betrayal of expectation. The idea of a false sense of peace reveals a profound psychological insight. Comfort mistaken for healing, success confused with wholeness, until its collapse exposes what true peace is by contrast: quiet, internal, and agonizingly absent. And in this moment, NF is not merely questioning God, he is interrogating the very architecture of meaning, standing amid the ruins of achievement and asking whether destruction itself might be part of a brutal, incomprehensible lesson in what peace is, and what it most certainly is not. This is an unbelievably powerful song. I think I'm just going to let it play through. I've been talking a lot, but here we go.
Sense of peace just to show me what peace really is.
That is so unbelievably profound.
Is this what you want now? On the verge, on the edge. Is this what you want now?
Oh.
Petrified, scared to death. Is this what you want now? Praying to God, desperate. Is this what you want now?
Question reply.
What you want now? Is this
Rhetorical.
what you want now? Hanging on by a thread. Is this what you want now?
Brilliant.
Empty heart, nothing left. Is this what you want now? Breaking down, spiraling. Is this what you want now? What you want?
See, this is music. Wow. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think this is just one of those songs that caught me off guard, and I'm deeply appreciative of it. Subscribe and like. Thank you, NF, for that. I am somewhat speechless, but okay, let's round up. This has been a really special song, and I love how the lyric fractures into a haunting call and response between human collapse and divine interrogation, each line tightening like a voice around a mind at its breaking point. And it's so creatively brilliant. The short, gasping phrases, on the verge, petrified, hanging on by a thread. It's the mirroring the psychology of acute anxiety, where thought no longer flows but stutters, reduced to survival impulses and emotional snapshots. Fear here is not loud, it is paralyzing, rendering the self suspended between motion and surrender, prayer and panic. It's just, there is a relentlessness repetition of, is this what you wanted, which I mentioned earlier, but it becomes almost obsessive now. echoing the looping cognition of someone desperate to impose meaning upon chaos, to believe that unbearable suffering might be at least purposeful in some way. Emotionally, this is the sound of a spirit emptied out, empty-hearted, nothing left, as he mentions, where even faith is clung to not with confidence, but with trembling fingers. The return to the burning mansion imagery reinforces the psychological paradox at play that I mentioned earlier. Success collapsing in slow motion while the mind compulsively replays the moment, searching for casualty, blame, or even absolution. And by layering these refrains atop one another, NF sonically and lyrically recreates the experience of spiraling, thoughts circling, prayers unanswered, identity dissolving under the heat of its own expectations. And you know what? It is devastating, not because it is dramatic, but because it is honest, a portrait of someone still standing, still breathing, yet emotionally incinerated, asking not for rescue, but for understanding. And this song just deeply resonates with me in a way that I haven't truly experienced for a while. Well, I mean, look, thank you truly for spending this time with me. Thank you for the recommendation, Fear by NF. I'd like to know a little bit more about him and what other songs he's done. Look, for me, Fear by NF is not the kind of song one simply leaves behind after the final note. It lingers. Internally, it's echoing quietly in thought and feeling alike. I hope this exploration of the song that I've offered is not just insight, but it's something that you've shared upon your reflection of listening to it as well. If this video resonated with you, I would be deeply grateful. If you would like the video, please comment, share, and subscribe. Your engagement truly does help this channel reach others who seek meaning, nuance, and sincerity in the music that we come across. Should you wish to support the channel more directly, you'll find the links for my Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, Super Thanks, and YouTube channel membership in the description below. Each one is a gentle but powerful way to keep this work alive and thriving. A massive thank you to everyone who has supported me thus far. Until next time, do be kind, do be gentle, do be respectful to one another, and help each other out when you can. And I'll see you lot in the next video. Take care, everyone. Cheers.